Welcome to Minding Your Business, the ProMontreal Entrepreneurs podcast, a program of Federation CJA. I'm Dan Laxer.
And I'm Catherine Korakakis, Head of Entrepreneurship at ProMontreal Entrepreneurs. Each episode, we introduce you to the founder or founders of business startups that found their way through PME, plus some words of business wisdom from our program's various mentors, which might even be me.
In this episode, we'll introduce you to an entrepreneur whose business idea might not be what one would expect. That's coming up. But the Promies are also coming up, Catherine. We've talked about it before, but just to maybe explain, what are the Promies?
So the Promies are the ProMontreal Entrepreneurs Awards for business leaders in our community, and they're happening on April 16th, 2026.
Okay.
And this year is extra special.
How so?
Extra special because we are going to be honoring Stephen Rothman and Jimmy Alexander, the visionaries behind the ProMontreal Entrepreneurs Program and Fund. People that I've worked with for close to 14 years now, who have been tremendous mentors and who have helped so many people by creating this program and being mentors and contributing and opening up their business network. So we're going to be honoring them. And we have some fantastic co-chairs that are putting this together. So Deborah Margulies, Kenny Harris, and Harley Finkelstein.
Right.
So look on our website for more information. And tickets are going to go on sale soon. And you'll be able to know who the winners are soon as well.
And if you want to know more about Stephen Rothman and Jimmy Alexander, they were the first guests on this podcast.
As they should have been.
It's a bit of an elementary version of the podcast, but it's a great conversation, and that's episode 1.
That's correct.
When you think of entrepreneurship and startup businesses, occupational therapy is not the first thing that comes to mind. More often than not, you think of a product or a service designed to make people's lives better, something marketable with which its originator turns a profit. Well, this episode's guest does indeed offer a service and does have society's best interests at heart. Sydney Weitzman is the founder and CEO of Occupational Grandir, which is, quoting from her LinkedIn page now, a private pediatric therapy clinic that provides holistic and inclusive services for neurodiverse children and their families. Sydney Weitzman, welcome to Minding Your Business.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
By way of introduction, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and about Occupational Grandir.
Sure. So you can go ahead and call it AG.
Okay.
So I'm Sid, and I've been an OT now for about almost 10 years, which is kind of crazy. I started this business about, almost 6 years ago, just myself in a little place in DeCarry Square, trying to figure it out, on my own. And it's been quite the journey. It's been really, really fun to figure it all out, meet cool people to help you along the way, meet other therapists, other people within the profession, see how they're going, see the profession grow, see how the community is growing at large. It's been an experience.
I think we're going to want to come back to the idea of you figuring it all out on your own, because that's really interesting. But I also feel that this is the kind of story where we want to start with the pain point. First. It's an expression I learned from Catherine. So, Catherine, maybe you can explain what you mean by pain point.
So pain point is the gap that you saw in the market, like the need that you were addressing. So you want to talk to us a little bit about what made that shift for you from being alone in DeCarry Square to this big clinic?
Yeah, so when I was, let's say, if we talk about it just from the standpoint of providing therapy service, let's say public versus private, there is so much need out there that the public system, the practitioners that are part of the public system, it's incredible that they have their jobs, that they're able to provide their services, that clients are able to have the services as well. But the challenges is that now there's a wait list for over 3 years. Early intervention is a key point in any development for a kid. One, it would have the family just understand their child better, be less stressed, give them a peace of mind. It actually reduces the need for intervention past kindergarten by 33%. So if you imagine the daycares now, if we would have services within them, or people having the ability to get those services prior to grade 1, now it's a quarter of the classroom is required to have extra services.
So interesting.
Yeah.
What accounts for that?
Oh, there are, well, some would say that the classroom is not actually the best place to learn. And that's kind of a big sticking point for a lot of people. But I do think that the schools are trying their best. That's not to say anything different.
Yeah, they're overrun, though, and
They're-
overloaded.
exactly.
And there's a lot of staff that are missing, a lot of specialists that are missing. There's budget cuts, as you know. There's all kind of things
100%.
happening. So
Yeah.
relying on the public and the private system really fills a gap.
100%. So it's kind of a twofold answer in that sense, where at first it was the fact of there being that need, like outside of the public sector, and I wish that there was some sort of partnership that could be done between the public and the private sector, because I do think that therapy services should be kind of
Integrated into the school.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and I think if you're talking about needs, so how did I go from, let's say, a solo practice to a bigger clinic? I was a late diagnosed neurodivergent person. So for me, getting diagnosed as ADHD in my first year of business, I kind of sat there and was like, wait a minute, I'm seeing all these kids that have similar symptoms that I had as a kid, that are feeling the same ways that I did, having all these parents that have to support a child with a neurodiversity or some sort of disability, and also be able to support themselves. There's not enough of us.
So that's a great segue. So you chose a French name.
Yeah.
Accompagner, agrandir. What message are you trying to convey to families that were going to walk through your door? Walk us through that.
Well, for me, it's community, community, community.
Yeah.
So
It
it's
takes a
really,
village?
Oh yeah, it
That
takes a
vibe?
village. 100%. It's like, I want you to be able to come into the clinic and just feel like you could be yourself.
Yeah.
It's not something that you want to come in and it's a doctor's office and it's all, you are you and you come in and it's 15 minutes and you're in and out. No, I want to know who you are. I want to know where you come from. I want to know how your kid is here, there, everywhere, and what makes you guys go and what the challenges are.
So there's this it's called pédiatrie sociale, and that kind of says what you're trying to describe, where you have all kinds of services and people that deal with a child on different standpoints. You can have the OT, you can have the SLP, the social worker, and they all work together with the family for the betterment of the child. So that's the vibe that you were going for?
100%. It's literally accompany through growth, right? That was the name of the clinic. We use it in French, but that is the goal. The goal is to accompany through the growth of the family and the child.
So is that when you realized that the practice was not just going to be the business, but that it was going to really fill that need and that gap?
I don't think I could think small.
Okay.
Just
Entrepreneurs can never think small.
just as a person, right? So I think one part, yay for ADHD and having that brain that constantly goes and thinking big, but also just the fact of, I think that everything should be shared. I think that the capacity that I have to help and the capacity that other OTs have that could help should be shared. Should be educating other communities, should be integrating within communities, should be just applying, giving as much information as possible.
And also building parental capacity, right? Because you're not with a child cannot be with the therapist all the time. So if you build the capacity of the parent, then at home they can continue
100%.
The therapies, continue the approaches, and then help the child be their best self.
And also, when you think about it, if you have a neurodiverse kid, you have a neurodiverse adult.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Something I discovered recently, but this show is not about me, so we'll talk about that after. But I want to go back to your story, because you say that you discovered this about yourself after you started working in this industry.
Oh, yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about
Sure.
your diagnosis?
Sure. It was actually a pretty funny story.
Yeah.
So I actually had multiple different jobs before I opened the clinic, just the practice itself, and I just felt that I didn't fit. I really wanted to help build, curriculum within the places that I was in, but always seen kind of as someone who was overstepping their bounds, or someone that was not able to finish all the documentation that had to happen, but so good with the kids. Yeah. Right? And so I was always kind of trying to figure out how to fit within something. And then when I kind of realized in my last job, I'm like, I'm sinking here. Like, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I said, screw it. I'm going to just open my own place. Now, where that came into, where my diagnosis came in, is I had a lot of kids with ADHD coming in, a lot of them. And I was working with them and doing research and trying to figure out, what the best ways to work with them, the techniques, this, that, and whatnot. And I had a client call me, and she was running late with her kid, and she's a GP. And I said, yeah, no problem. I'm always late. It was always something that I thought, I really thought, I'm like, there must be something so wonderful here, because all my clients are so forgiving of my lateness and my thisness and my thatness, which is all ADHD traits that I had no idea were ADHD traits. Anyway, so she called and told me that she was late. I'm like, yeah, of course. I'm always late. Don't worry about it. But I just had a question. I think I have ADHD. I've been doing like a lot of different research and this, that, and like it looks like me. And it was just silent. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Forget it. Don't worry about it. Just come. She goes, no, Sid, you don't get it. I diagnosed you the moment I met you.
Wow.
I just thought you knew because you were so good with my kid.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Was that your aha moment?
I freaked out. I was like, oh my God.
But Catherine's question is the right one. I mean, did that suddenly change the way you worked?
So I have to tell you, I talked to a lot of people with a neurodiversity as an adult, and there's a grieving period. Definitely.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Where you have to accept that the way things are the way things are?
Not only the way things are, the way things were.
When you were blissfully unawares?
But it's not only that. It's all the ways that I put myself down, thinking that it was me, that, I always tell people, I have no idea how I got through university.
Well, but you did it, though.
I did it.
But you
and
did it.
And I
all
loved
our child
it.
as well. Teachers who didn't understand, who might have treated you
But
differently.
I was able to find different support systems. I had someone to do carpool with me. I had someone who told me when exams were. I had study groups. So these were all strategies that I found for myself as I was going through university, not knowing that this was the thing that was going on.
Yeah.
So it's all of like, and relationships and this and that. Every part of my life that I was just like, wait, why is it so easy for other people? And why am I not hitting that mark every single time? I don't get it. I'm smart. I'm capable. I can do this.
That's wild, eh? But what was the hardest part? Like, you went through all this, but what was the hardest part to leap from that into entrepreneurship? Like, what was like...
So I was actually thinking about this a lot. And so I think imposter syndrome is something that's really overspoken about, right? Yeah. But I think imposter syndrome, including a neurodiversity, is something that is not really spoken about, in the sense where I not only don't have the thoughts of, oh my gosh, like, who am I to be able to do this job, or who am I to have the skills, or whatever it is. It's not only that and having the skills. It's also I have a brain that actually stops me from doing things that I want to and need to do. So on top of just the side of it where it's like, am I really able to do this job? Like, is this actually happening, right? Who am I to be able to do this? It's, well, you have XYZ to do today because you're a CEO of a business. Yeah. And you need to get that email out. You need to get that bill out. You need to be publicizing everything.
Yeah. But, and people are depending on you, right? You have staff, you have clients.
And you wake up in the morning and you're like, I literally cannot make coffee.
Because you're so busy. So that was the hardest part.
And it's like figuring out where my zone of genius is, where I'm best suited within the business to make sure that the business is running, to make sure that people are supported, to be able. And how many times, I think this is the third or fourth time within the past 5-6 years that I am teetering between, am I a full-time therapist and require the support with an admin, with a clinic manager, with a this, that, whatever, or am I an administrator? Am I someone who does the business management and the advertising and this, that, whatever? I cannot do both.
And the business development.
Exactly.
Very important.
So I can't do both. That's not how my brain works.
So the hardest part has been self-identifying which role you play?
Which role I play, but it's really based on my capacity rather than what I think I should be doing.
That's a very interesting point.
So how did that translate to, as you built the clinic, as you built the business, building a team and protecting the values as a
of
clinic?
what your vision was, right? Like, because when you started this, there are other clinics out there, but you came at this with a different approach, a more pédiatrie sociale approach, accompanying the family, right?
Yeah.
So how does that? How do you do that?
Well, I think there's a saying called "game recognizes game."
Okay.
Where if you're a neurodiverse person, you're in a room, you can recognize every other neurodiverse person in the room.
Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Is that a real thing?
Oh no. It's if you look at your friend group, and you're like, right.
I look at my family group,
but think about it for a second, right? I look at all of my friends around me. I look at my partner. I look at everyone that I'm surrounded with. How we support each other, how we interact with each other. They know my needs. I know their needs. They know my capacities. I know their capacities, right? And we go off this like, they're a very literal person, so we're going to help them through this. Or I'm a very emotional person. We know to let Sid do this. Or the ways that you interact. So I think that when it comes to a team, if I'm sitting in front of somebody and I'm being real because I don't know how not to.
Yes.
And I'm met with some diplomacy, I will say, that I don't recognize within myself. I know that when working with kids, that has to drop. You can't have those walls that are not useful within the
building that relationship.
Vibe. The relationship, the vibe. I need people that are flexible and able to see behind what just a kid coming in and having fine motor skill issues are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's more of like, if you're sitting there, and I also give them shots. I'm very open. I believe that everyone deserves the opportunity to try their best and to show what's up. So if they come in and they do a full Sunday, which is a huge day of clients, and they're like, you know what, I can't do this, no problem. Or tell me what support you need to be able to do this. I think that's the biggest thing too, of like coming into a work environment and you're like, wait a minute, I can actually ask for the support that I need.
So your values are children first, and you have to adapt yourself
100%.
To be able to work with them. That is going to enable them to reach their full potential.
100%.
Yeah, and if you don't see it there, then you have to make different choices.
Yeah.
That's interesting. How do you define success beyond the bottom line? What makes you happy? What's the success look like for you?
I think my first success, what I identified, was the fact that I was getting parent calls for my therapists specifically. So it used to be like, I want to work with Sid. I want to work with Sid. I want to work with Sid. And then it became, no, I want to work with Tori. No, I want to work with Mel. No, I want to work with this. And I said, okay. There seems to be something growing here where it's not just my reputation, it's actually the reputation of all the other therapists as well. And so we're building our own community like that.
Right, and by extension, it's the reputation of the clinic as a whole.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I think that is one of my biggest successes.
What is there never a point though where, at least in the beginning, when someone would say, "I want to work with Tori," where you would take it personally and go, "Oh, I wanted to work."
No. I think that people deserve to work with the people that they want to.
That's awesome.
Unfortunately, there's only a certain amount of hours in a day that people could work.
Yes.
But if possible, no. If I'm not the right person for the job, I shouldn't be doing the job. Yeah,
because at the end of the day, you want the child has to have a connection and really and the family connect with the therapist. Yeah, it makes a big difference when you feel heard, seen, supported. Like really those three things. You can get the support without feeling like the other person's listening to you.
Yeah.
It's a completely different vibe than when you're working with someone where you feel seen and heard. Yeah. It changes everything, and you feel safe. And when you're in a safe environment, that allows you to thrive. So I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Are there others on your team who are also neurodivergent?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
100%. Before it used to be just called quirky.
Yes.
Right? We
just that's right.
Yeah,
like,
quirky.
This person's a little quirky.
But I've heard other words like, lazy.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't listen. They don't listen.
Yeah. Dreamer.
But that goes back to the grief.
Yes.
Right? How many times did I call myself lazy? Right? Or
because
incapable?
You heard it from others.
Well, because I've heard it from others, but also, why can't you just do it? Like, just do the thing.
But there was a stigma back in the day, and I have to say, there was a stigma about all surrounding neurodivergence and labels. And I think that diagnosis was not as prevalent as it is today.
Yes.
You were just given, oh, he's lazy, oh, you know, they're not smart, they don't listen, that kind of vibe. But now we have the tools. And I think also the stigma has left where parents, I'm not going to make a blanket statement because there are parents that don't accept stuff like that, but talk to us a little bit about that. Like,
yeah, and listen, we provide services to kids with or without diagnosis, right? So it's really, we want to see how the symptoms of whatever is going on is affecting their day to day. That's it.
and generally, are the parents bringing in those kids without a diagnosis, or is this something that the school has said, or somebody in the community has said, hey, your child, blah, blah,
It's
blah.
really both at that point. And when it comes to diagnosis, I have some parents that are asking me to diagnose, which I can't do.
No.
Yeah.
I have parents that are saying we don't want documentation of any type of diagnosis.
Wow.
I have, it really all depends. I also, unfortunately have divorce cases where one parent believes it, the other parent doesn't.
Oh, that's fun.
Wow,
And
yeah, really.
it's real tough.
Yeah.
But
Navigating that must be so hard.
I have to say, I get that.
Yeah.
Because when my son was very small and he was diagnosed with ADHD,
Yeah.
I didn't believe it at first.
right.
Because we were in a situation where we were sitting with a panel of doctors,
Mm-hmm.
and he was small enough that his feet weren't touching the ground, but he was swinging his legs,
Right.
which in my mind, kids do.
Right.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how do you know he's got ADHD? Well, do you see how he's swinging his legs? And I went, all kids do that. Who are you to diagnose him with? Anyway, fast forward to when I was a teenager.
Then it was a different.
Yeah.
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 No, for sure. Things can definitely seem, and there are, I have a lot of, even my friends now, they're all having kids and they come to me, they're like, oh my gosh, is it autism? And I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I could tell you that you have to wait a little bit, like let the kid be the kid.
Let the
Yeah.
kid be
And
the
then
kid.
let's see, with time. And if it's a functional thing, right? We're looking at how it is maladaptive to life. We're not looking at if it's normal or not. you know?
Right.
How
That's
do
a
you
good way of
think?
putting it.
Yeah, but how do you think that entrepreneurship has kind of influenced the way that you work with families or with? I don't think that therapy has, but like
Yeah.
perhaps the way that you run the clinic, or
It's very hard,
Yeah.
I have to say, because I obviously want to give the parents the most possible and the kids the most possible. And also, I think being a female entrepreneur, it's always hard to ask for what you need and what you deserve. So I think that for me, it's more of when we are doing the work, we deserve to be paid for the work.
yeah,
And a lot of therapists, they feel bad charging for, let's say, if you're writing a progress note or if you're doing things that aren't direct client service.
oh, is that right?
Yeah, to charge for that. That is something that I'm having to teach my OTs to be like, oh, okay, like you're feeling bad because you're not getting remunerated properly. Well, you have to charge for your services. You're not a private, work for the family. Yes, you work for the family in terms of providing therapy, but you work for yourself or you work for the company.
Yeah.
So if you want to be paid for your time, you have to charge for your time.
So it's really that shift from being, from also having the sense of that we have a business to run and we want to provide a service, but in order to provide that service, we need to have this place running. So we need to charge for our services.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
But generally, the clients accept that.
Mostly,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I think also the thing that's always difficult is raising prices. I always
Yes.
want to maintain this accessible type of service, but at the end of the day, cost of living increases. Everyone wants more money. Everyone, wants.
Well, things just get more expensive.
It's-
What are you going to do?
And it is the cost of running a business,
Exactly.
after all.
So I think that's also I always get nervous, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
How did PME support you when you were starting this, Al?
Well, I think that the way, at least at the beginning, is they were able to see the vision. I think that's the main motivator in this was we had a vision. We came to them with the vision,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Wow, okay, we see this vision. We're on."
Yeah.
Well,
it's so different, right?
yeah. So it's definitely not something that is, I will say, automatically profitable. It's not. It is something that is very hard because of the public system and the way that it's run, because of my order, the way that it's run, because of all this stuff. Very difficult. But it is a required service. It's a required business. So in that sense, it was nice to be able to have a community that saw it as something not only viable, but necessary. Saw the dreams, saw the ways that they were able to support us through that. And I think after that is just also being within. I know that I can call Catherine whenever I need to. Right? Of being like, okay,
Even now.
Even now.
Yeah.
I need a new accountant. I need to get a new ad manager. I don't know what to do. Where should I be placing my ads? Oh, okay, we'll talk about this. Or, oh, Sid, I'm doing a talk. Do you want to be a second with me? Yeah.
Right.
100%. Right?
Yeah. So there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of
Yeah.
relationship building, and then it's really about supporting the entrepreneur. But the point is, at different stages of their life, they need different things. So at the beginning was idea validation. How do you like the nuts and bolts of how do we build this business? How do we
Yeah.
support you? And then it goes into, look, I'm writing my first contract. I'm scared.
Exactly.
What is this okay? You find somebody to help them.
Yeah.
I need to hire somebody. Holy moly, I'm worried. I've never done this before. Some tips and tricks. So, and then as it goes on, it's different stuff. Like it's like, hey, now I need to get into. I want to do this, and okay. But it's never linear.
No.
It's never like the same thing over. It just shifts because the entrepreneur shifts, the business grows,
Yeah.
and then we adapt to whatever we can to support the business. And that's really the key to the success. It's not just, hey, Sid or whoever fit in this little box and this is it. It cannot work that way.
From the beginning, and I want to ask you this, so many different ideas and founders come across your desk.
Yeah.
What was it about Sid's idea that made you say, hey, this is different?
It's never about the idea. It's always about the entrepreneur. So when Sid came through the room, I took a bet on her because I knew that she would make it happen. She had a vision. She was able to verbalize the vision. She made a business case. We analyzed the business case. But it just becomes, when somebody brings you a business plan and that's not started yet, it's an idea on a piece of paper. There's nothing concrete. So it's about taking bets on people and investing in them and knowing that if you give them the chance and the support, that they can move mountains. And I think that's what it was. She had what she needed to do. She had the education, she had the vision, she had the help, and it was just about helping her execute that vision.
We need to wrap up in a bit, but I want to throw this question back to you.
Sure.
How important was it for you as an individual? And this was prior to you discovering, hey, wait a minute, I'm also neurodivergent.
Yeah. How
important was it for you to have someone like Catherine say, I believe in this entrepreneur?
Yeah, Sid.
You know what? I don't believe, and this is including Catherine, I don't believe that we have a community, there's any other community like ours, in the sense where each individual within the community has a purpose and a reason, and everything that they want to do in life should be fulfilled. And I feel like the community and federation and Catherine believes that. And so the fact that I'm even doing this podcast to me is just another tap on my shoulder. Like, Sid, you're doing okay. You're here. I chose you to come in. I chose you to come sit with us. We all believe in you. Just keep going. And I think the little bits of
Validation?
Yeah. It's just entrepreneurship is tough.
Yes, and lonely and hard.
Lonely.
And it takes a super long time.
My goodness. But yeah, it's like little bits of validation that I get over time. I get a text here, I get an email there, a call. It's just, oh yeah, you still remember. I'm here. And it means the world.
That's so good to hear.
Yeah.
So if another therapist or a professional is listening and they want to start something similar, their own venture, their own clinic or something like that, what kind of advice would you give them?
So I think obviously to have a good mission, why you're doing this, because I think the why really keeps me going. Every time I think about closing up or, doing something that doesn't take my brain 24 hours a day to deal with, I think about why I did this thing to begin with and why I opened it. That's one part. The other part of it is, I think everyone says this, just start small.
Yeah.
Right? Start with what you know to be what you need. Nothing bigger than that. I also think, for me at least, as a neurodiverse person, the biggest thing is having the executive support. So having somebody that can do the things that you're not good at. I'm really great with kids. I'm really great at doing the therapy part. It takes me 17 times longer to do any of my documentation than it does for someone else.
But that, you know what, I want to just say something. Many times entrepreneurs think that they can do it all, and that's a huge mistake. At the beginning, okay, a little bit, but very quickly you have to offload stuff that does not bring you closer 100%. To business development and bringing in revenue and growing the business. All that administrative stuff, I know you want to do it all, you really need to offload that. You have to train somebody, and that's just smart business growth and sense. You shouldn't be doing everything, because then you're doing nothing. That makes sense.
Absolutely.
But I think the thing too is that you really have to figure out where you're best suited to be.
Yeah, of course.
So yes, because I'm an OT. Why I started the business is because I think occupational therapy is the thing that people need. We need this out there, and I love providing it. Right? And I want others to be able to provide it in the same breath that I do. So am I the right person to be sitting and answering emails? I don't think so.
Right.
Am I the right person to be providing really in-depth care that my clients need? I think so.
Yeah, and growing the business so more clients get more opportunities to come in and get the support they need.
Exactly.
And that other stuff that doesn't do that, you offload.
Yeah.
So for families listening who think they might need the services that Occupational Entrepreneurs provides, how can they reach you?
So you can go on our website at accompagneragrandir.com. You can email us at info@accgrandir.com, so info@accgrandir.com, or call us 514-612-0039. We also have Facebook and Instagram.
Sydney Weitzman, this has been fantastic. So eye-opening. Thank you so much.
Thanks for doing this. It was
My
a pleasure.
pleasure.
Yay.
Very fun.
Awesome.
For the Mentor Minute this episode, we introduce you to Jared Connect, who started off as an accountant in the electronics manufacturing business, and now he's in private equity and investing, giving second life to old school manufacturing. Jared actually has 3 tips for entrepreneurs. Jared?
My advice for entrepreneurs, it's in my top 3. So number 1, you never know the path to get to the end result. So you just need to move forward. Don't stall, don't stagnate, just keep moving. You're going to turn directions 50 times before you actually find the right path, and that's okay. My second advice for entrepreneurs is find the industry that you love. Sometimes you get into a specific, role or business, and you figure out that you're really not that passionate about it. If you don't have passion for that industry and that business, it's going to be really hard for you to grow to the level of your potential. My third and last piece of advice for entrepreneurs, I'd say, is actually the most important, is you can train skill, but you can't train character. So as you build your teams, as you look for partners to help you grow your business, the character of that person is number 1. The rest can be learned, can be taught, can be figured out over time, but you'll never be able to change a person's character.
For anyone who is interested in the mentoring and guidance that PME has to offer, how do they sign up?
All they have to do is go on our website, www.ProMontrealEntrepreneurs.org, fill out an application. Our contact information is there, and then we will reach out to you within 48 hours.
And that's our time. For more information on ProMontreal Entrepreneurs or any other Federation CJA programs, follow us on social at ProMontrealEntrepreneurs.org or at FederationCJA.org. Minding Your Business is a production of Federation CJA. Executive producers are Glenn J. Nash and Catherine Korakakis. Technical production by Daniel Moskovich. The Minding Your Business podcast. Subscribe, download, listen, and share wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Dan Laxer.
And I'm Catherine Korakakis.
Minding Your Business, ProMontreal Entrepreneurs, bringing ideas to life.